Good? All right. Oh, hey there. Glad you joined us. We got a good little episode for this week. The boys are back. A little bit of the crew. Tate is missing for this episode. He decided to bail on us. But we got a good little real talk rundown with the boys going over multiple topics. We had a blast. We got our fist pump feature in, as always. And we actually got some questions from the fans. So tune in for a heck of an episode. Love y'all. Oh, and also, can't forget this. Hit the like and subscribe button on the video, please. Just right now, pause it. Boom. Like, subscribe. Comment, let us know what you think. Hit us up on all our socials at Real Talk WRT. Please, just do it for the boys. We're actually getting ready to start doing some merch too, so just stay tuned for that.
And that coach up in Athens got them boys playing pretty good ball. Anyway, I love you, son. Go Dogs.
Look at this guy.
Dude, I got the golf bug. I'll tell you that. After watching the full swing, golf bug
That little
galore.
stretch, that California, I love the Florida stretch that we're in right now. We talked about it earlier today. I love the Florida stretch. You got the Honda Classic, which we're talking about the field isn't as good as what it used to be. So then you followed up with Arnold Palmer Invitational next week. Near to my heart. I grew up near to that one. My son's named after Arnold Palmer. Shout out Palmer at home. Hope you're in bed.
Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to get to the fist pump feature, but
We'll come back to
Do you
that.
think he's watching?
He better not be. He better
is
be
he
in bed.
sleeping, eating, or pooping? One of
One of those three. I mean,
Yeah.
guaranteed it's one of those three. Or all three at the same time.
Hammering it.
But so you got Honda Classic, Arnold Palmer Invitational, you got Valspar, and then you got the Players Championship. I mean, I love the Florida swing, but back to what I was saying, you had the Waste Management the other week. You had the Genesis out at Riviera. Like, this is, I know that
Shout out Tiger.
the shout out Tiger making his comeback. I know the calendar year for golf starts back in like 2022. It's the wraparound, which I think they're getting rid of, thankfully.
About time, because the
then-
golf season is the most confusing season.
It
of all
is. I
sports.
hate that they've wrapped around the schedule. The unofficial start is kind of in Maui at Kapalua out in Hawaii.
December, right? Or
It's
is it-
January, early January,
okay.
which I like that, but this is where I get into golf. This, like, a little bit of California swing, and then they come down to Florida. This is where I start itching that. I get that golf
Yeah.
bug. I'm like, oh, get me out on that course.
So we talked about this the other day. If you could only play one type of golf for the rest of your life, whether it's Florida golf, mountain golf, desert golf, like or ocean, like you're a, not Florida ocean, but like California ocean.
Go
Which
around
one
the
would
room.
you pick?
Who would?
I pick mountain golf every day because I grew up playing mountain golf. And that's kind of like, I like the views. I like all that. Like, you can't see every hole when you just step up to the number one tee. Like, I love that aspect of it. And I like the grass. Like, I hate Florida grass. I hate
Bermuda.
playing on it. Honestly, I just hate everything about the state. But that, like, mostly the grass.
I like the governor, but other than that.
Oh, yeah. And
then
and Miami is like fun for a weekend or two,
Yeah, Miami was great for
All right,
us.
what
for
kind of
about a
golf's your favorite?
week. I got to go like Augusta type with the tall pines, like just
Southern
good
golf.
old straightforward.
You get that up north too with tall pines.
Yeah.
Growing up in Florida, flat, a lot of water. I hate Florida golf. I had my fair share of it. I like tall pines, kind of coastal, where it's in and out of the pines and stuff, and you get some of the coastal stuff. But I do love the undulation because I didn't get a ton of it growing up being in Florida. But the shot shaping, you could go to the same hole, the par 3 that we played, that we made a mess of. Like, you could hit a high draw. You can try and hit a cut and hold it up against the wind. You can try and bore something through. Like, I feel with mountain golf, there's an added, just the elevation aspect where you can hit more shots and you can make it more fun, especially when you get to be a better golfer and you can learn how to work the ball. It makes it more enjoyable, I think.
Speaking of, sorry to interrupt you real quick. When I played it the next weekend, that par 3, it's like 100-yard par 3. Like, it's tiny and it's way downhill.
It's like
But it was
130-ish, but then it plays way shorter
Yeah.
than that.
And not from the tips, but we weren't playing the tips.
Oh, we weren't playing the tips.
I mean, the wind. I mean, it was 45 degrees. Wind chill was putting it at like 24. And I mean, I'm the only guy out there. People are like, the car guys were looking at me like I was a psychopath. Plus, it was like 4 o'clock, so they were ready to go home because no one was out on the course. So I just pull it ready
Oh,
to
so
roll.
they were cussing, yeah.
And they were like, "You dog!" But I get out there, and the wind was so bad. The distance from the tree line on the left side to the bunkers on the right is probably a solid 50 yards. And my first shot hit it dead center of the green, and it just veers off like 30 yards right of the green. So I'm like, okay, let's try this. I hit it to the wind was so bad, I hit it to the tree line on the left. It crossed the green and went into the bunkers. And it was, a straight shot and just snapped from the wind. But go ahead.
Insane. I'm probably gonna have to say I'll say Pacific Coast golf. This summer, once one of my buddies graduates from UGA, he's the last one of our friend group that needs to graduate. We've all agreed that we're taking a trip out to California, or somewhere on the West Coast, and we're just gonna do a golf a boys trip, golf trip. And so maybe I'm just looking forward to that, but that's kind of the golf that I want to play.
If you haven't locked in a course yet, Bannon Dunes out there on the coast, there's multiple courses. I don't know if they still have the deal, but they had this incredible deal. If you played 5 rounds there, you get this crazy deal where
They'll pay for your
last round. So
Yep.
it's the first time you pay, it's full green fees, which is $100 or $500. It's expensive. But that's the first round.
That hurts.
The second round you play there, it's half price. The third round you pay there, it's free.
I thought,
and the
it's free.
fourth round you play there, they give you a $100 bill when you walk off the course.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna stay there and play 4 or 5 rounds, it's pretty sweet.
That's a great deal.
But there's
Yeah,
multiple
but
courses
you
there around the
gotta
ocean.
Stick around and play 90 holes of golf.
I'll take that
That's a
sacrifice.
point. Yeah. There's worse things to do.
I'm just glad.
There's nothing else in Bandon to do other than play golf.
I'm
that
just
I
glad
know of.
nobody said Florida because
Yeah.
my memory from Florida golf courses is just seeing the alligators, and that just ain't it.
That's fun for for your first time down there if you're not from Florida. It's oh, it's cool, it's an alligator, and then it's all right.
I don't know if cool is the word that I would use. It's more so of let's just not
keep
go
your
anywhere near.
distance. But
I just hate it because you lose so many balls.
Yeah.
I mean, every hole has water, and I just hate that.
repetitive.
And then
All the
desert
all
golf,
the
it sucks because
houses out there.
if you're off the fairway, there's 100 things that can kill you out there, and it's I don't even want to go out there.
That's the truth.
So talking about the Honda Classic, a lot of people say that's one of the hardest rounds of golf, or the hardest tournament on tour. I mean, have you guys heard? Have you ever played the course at all? Or
I grew up playing tournament golf on that course, and then I grew up going to the tournament. So the course that I was an assistant pro at was 7 minutes up the road, and then my apartment was 4 minutes up the road. So we'd spent a lot of time there, both on the golf course playing it, but then watching the tournament. And where it is in the year, being in March, you still get some winter winds, which are coming from the south. So the winds, when they pick up, it can be very different. They talked about on the broadcast today that the course during the summertime plays night and day different to how it plays during the wintertime with the winds, the way that the grass is, with different types of grass, what's dormant, what's not. But yeah, it's a challenging course. I shot, I think 76, 74, and I came in second place in this one tournament. And I was ecstatic. Yeah, it's a tough course, but there's a multitude of in that.
Can we rewind 76, 74? I would be ecstatic too, no matter what course I'm on.
But I mean, back in the day, I
That's
was getting
gold.
essentially paid to do that. So
Yeah.
I spent a lot more time doing it, and I should have been.
Best round you ever shot.
That was at my home course at Admirals Cove prior to the renovation on the Golf Village course. Shot 65 and didn't even know I did until I got into the parking lot and added up and been like, that was a good round. And then I saw a lot of circles on the scorecard. I was like, holy cow, that was a lot better than I expected. It was one of those ones that golfers especially that you kind of black out, and if you miss a shot, if you hit a shot, your bad shots, they turn out, you thin one a little bit and it still ends up next to the hole. It's you black out and you don't really know what happens.
it's
I feel like it happens
unbelievable.
with athletes in general. You just have a day that you're on
guess
it
I'm
and you
not
feel
an
like you miss a
No matter
block or
what you
something.
do.
Yeah,
The
it's
guy
just
who
you
shot
can't do
107
no
today,
wrong.
he basically
Yeah.
he cut my score in half from today's round, basically.
Well,
was
did
one
we
time
ever
now.
talk about whenever we played down at Georgia, Florida?
Yeah, that was
Did I tell you
the
guys that
Jacksonville
story?
Golf and Country Club.
So we go play this course that you've never played that course, right?
Never
Never
played
played
it.
this
man.
course,
Never
okay?
is.
And he's like, oh, I haven't played in so long, blah, blah, blah. So we're playing with these people, and I'm like, yeah, this guy, he's going to tell you all this stuff, and he's going to go out and shoot, a 73, and just be like, oh, I left some strokes out there. He's like one of those guys, right? And he's like, no way. He goes, if I shoot whatever
I
the
said
number
if I
was,
shoot 73 or better, I'll buy everyone drinks
buy
for the night.
everyone's drinks for the night, okay? So that's on camera that he said that. So we start playing, he's playing pretty well, right? We get to the back nine, he's on pace to shoot a 70. And I'm
choke.
like cheering him on. You know, I'm like, let's go.
I wanted
baby.
to choke. I was terrified. I knew
Yeah,
I was like shitting my pants the entire round.
So he's playing really well. You know, we're getting on 18, great drive. Hits it, then we tally up the score. What'd you shoot?
70.
This little piece of shit.
Did you not buy the drinks?
No.
No, because he was like, oh, my tum tum hurts. Like we gotta go home.
We both got sick. To be
He's
fair,
like, oh,
we
my
both
tum
got
tum.
sick.
Like, let's go home. That's-
We're putting that video of you saying that up on the pod. That's kind of like it's kind of like the Missouri game when what's his face was like, I'll buy drinks for everybody at that one bar if y'all
Was it
win.
Big Cat?
Oh,
Is that
Big
what you're
Cat.
talking
Yeah,
about?
I mean they had
Big Cat's making a lot more money than I am.
Well, especially now.
Yeah. Especially now.
Yeah, especially now. We got some folks visiting through the window right there. Shout out real quick while
Hey,
we're
folks.
pausing for my boy Zane from back in the day. Gotta show the backside of this little back-to-back jacket.
That is
Oh.
Appreciate you, brother.
One more
that
golf
thing.
question while we're still at it, because we came up with this one the other day when it was Waste Management Open Week. Would you rather, and this is, I've heard a lot of these would you rathers where it's like pretty obvious what the answer should be for the most part. Would you rather get to play Augusta National one time with Tiger Woods, so you get that memory to always follow back on? You got to play Augusta National, that's hard to beat. You got to play Augusta National, 18 holes with Tiger Woods.
Just you and Tiger.
You and Tiger.
Okay.
That's tough to beat right there.
Yeah.
Or get an invite to the Waste Management Phoenix Open for all 4 days for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it was the invite to the Waste Management with the best seats.
Yeah, like
on
you could go wherever you want. Like if you want to go
For
on the
the rest of
nicest-
your life. Like,
for
you
the
have
rest of your
that to
life.
look
So it's like you
forward
got that
to
one
every
thing to
weekend.
look back on.
So you're just a spectator. You're
You're just a
spectating
spectator.
Waste Management.
But you get to, like, if you want to go walk around and watch people play, whether it's Tiger or whoever, like, you can do that. If you want to have the best seat in the house at 16, that's the rowdies, and you have to line up at 4 a.m. just to try and maybe get a chance to sprint back there and get a glimpse of something.
But it's yours.
But you
have
get
it.
to do
I
that.
saw those
look
videos
forward
of
to
people just like, as soon as gates open, they're sprinting.
Oh yeah,
Like,
and it's like I'm a huge Tiger fan, not as big as other people. I'm a massive Augusta National fan, but in that case, I'm going Waste Management just for like I know for however long I live, that's something I get to.
You could
always
create
look
more
for.
memories
Yeah.
doing that. I would say the same thing.
I feel like I would be really sad. You have a great time doing whatever, whether it's going to a theme park with your family, and you look back on that and be like, that was a great day. I wish I could relive it. It's like, imagine that times a billion looking back at playing golf. Like, you're going to miss that so much. That's my
But
rationale.
also,
But
I mean,
what's everyone's takes on that?
being a Georgia boy, being a Tiger guy, that's tough.
I mean,
What do you think?
I take Tiger, no question.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%. If it was, I guess if the alternative scenario was like you get to play one round with Tiger at Augusta, or you get like Berkman's passes for the rest of your life, like that might be a more difficult.
What's that?
Like that exclusive place at Augusta National for the Masters. It's
like back behind
back
16
behind
or-
16, and it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best food, and it's really high end.
They have like 3 exactly replica greens that you can like go out and putt on.
Wow.
Free food, free drink.
Like, that would be a more difficult, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me.
Have y'all heard the John Smoltz story in Tiger?
No.
Oh
my
man, this
God.
is gold. So it was spring training, mid 2000s, maybe late, maybe like 2007, 2008 ish, towards John Smoltz's end of his stint in Atlanta, and it was spring training. He was supposed to throw in like 2 days later, and he gets a call from Tiger, and it's like 2 hours before their spring training game, and I might be butchering some of this, but the gist of it is he called him and was like, hey, you want to come play Augusta with me? And Smoltz was like, well, I mean, yeah, but I'm spring training. Let me ask.
Got some obligations here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm working. Went up to Bobby Cox. He was like, hey, can I, here's the situation. Da, da, da. And it might have been that he was throwing that day and then he just got to leave early. So the story goes that he, like halfway through the game, leaves the dugout, just disappears. Tiger flew his plane down to Florida, picked him up, flew up here, played with him, and then flew back and was back by nighttime.
That's pretty
That's
awesome.
awesome.
How sick is that?
That's awesome.
I couldn't
But,
imagine.
I mean, that
like
just
Tiger Woods wanting to play with somebody that bad. Like John Smoltz. Like, I mean, that's cool, and John's a pretty good golfer. Like,
Really good.
Yeah. So, but that's crazy.
yeah, what a flex. Yeah, hey, Tiger just texted me. Wants to play Augusta.
Big deal.
I mean, if you're Bobby Cox, you
Insane.
gotta say yeah. But
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know
That's
all this
incredible
golf
story.
talk. It's talking about the Full Swing Netflix documentary. I know we were talking about that, and that's kind of what
We've watched it. You've watched the first little bit. Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've watched half of it.
Okay.
So 2 full, we've seen it all the way through, half and first episode.
You guys go ahead and give your takes on it.
First episode I was pleasantly surprised. I liked the gist of it. I liked the Justin Thomas and
Spieth.
Jordan Spieth dynamic. Like, I didn't know that Spieth was Justin Thomas's like best man in his wedding and stuff like that. Like, that's cool stuff. That's a lot of like personality stuff that's even stuff that like NIL is doing, is trying to like this podcast, literally getting to know people's personalities, trying to popularize like the sport of golf. And so I think that was really cool to see. And I thought it was a good episode. Obviously, I haven't seen the rest of it, so I know differing opinions probably. But Matt, what did you think?
So I'm a massive fan of the Drive to Survive series, the Formula One thing.
Yeah.
So like I went into that show never watching Formula One. So like I saw how that made me into a fan. And like going into this one, it's different because I'm already a golf fan. So it was like interesting to see what this would like, how this would change my perception. And what it did was like I already liked JT and I already liked Spieth and I already liked Scotty Scheffler. So it made me like them more. And the guys that I was kind of on the fence about, like Brooks Koepka, like I think he's the worst person ever.
Dude.
Now. Like I
Even
already
Jenna
didn't
Sims.
really like him, but I'm like, I mean, he's good, so I respect that. And I kind of liked, at the beginning, I kind of liked his like, you know,
Mantra, just-
screw the world, like I'm just doing my way thing. But he comes off as such a D-bag.
Yeah,
I mean, like there's no other way to say it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it cemented that for me. And like Ian Poulter and like the reasoning for going to live and thing, I think it was really interesting because like you start to see it, and like Ian Poulter was basically afraid of missing more cuts.
Yeah.
Right. And like you don't make, I mean, trust me, Netflix tells you 100 times you don't make money if you don't make the cut. So he did it for that reason because he's just not as good as he used to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same with Brooks. Like, you know, Brooks was trailing off. So it's like you see why these guys made that move to live. And I think that was the perfect season for them to do this documentary. I think it'd be
It
completely
added up.
different if it
Yeah.
had just been a normal season.
I mean, like one of the opening quotes was, "You picked a hell of a season to start covering golf."
Poulter saying that.
It was
I think my favorite episode was the JT Spieth
Spieth
one.
one, yeah.
That was really cool. There was some stuff in there. I want to pick your brand. What did you kind of nitpick about things you didn't like coming from a golf guy?
I want to rewatch it because, especially this first, I think 3 or 4 episodes, I was in the hospital with my wife with my baby coming in the world. So,
Speaking of, after this, we're gonna go to fist pump feature.
yeah,
So we can
so I definitely want to rewatch it because there's probably a lot of stuff that I didn't catch, but there was a couple nitpicky things from a golf nerd. I think it was the first episode with Spieth winning the PGA, and he gets on the 18th green. He's got to like make the putt, I think, to go to the playoff with Will
JT won the
Zalatoris.
PGA. That's what you mean.
Did I say
JT?
Yeah.
I meant
we get
JT.
it. Yeah.
So he's got to make the putt, goes to the playoff with Will Zalatoris, where he's on the green, and it shows like a series of like 2 or 3 second clips of him like marking the ball, lining it up, getting ready to hit it, and going through this process, and then making the putt. Well, in that series, they snuck in a clip where it was obvious that it wasn't like a golf nerd editing it, because this whole series, he's on the green, he's lining up the ball, he's going through this pre-shot routine essentially. And then one of the clips for 2 seconds gets snuck in is him with a driver in hand, and it was from him back on the tee box. So that just attention to detail that I had kind of stuck out to me. It's like, wait, why is that in there? And I want to rewatch and make sure I got that right. But it was him back on the tee box. Like I just recognized from his pre-shot routine, like how he kind of gets into about to hit an iron shot or a driver shot versus a putter. And I noticed that was not from him. So that just that was a very big nitpicky thing of mine that I noticed. And then the other thing was just, and I totally get it, what Netflix was trying to do which I appreciate, is broaden the horizons of golf and get people that aren't big golf fans to maybe pay more attention to it and make it interesting to them. And they made a show to explain that sort of stuff. But it was funny, someone made a meme out of it that I saw on Instagram with the amount of times the cut was broken down. And it was like
So
Dan
many
Rappaport
times.
and all these guys just like, and I saw a montage of it, and it's like every single person that they had on essentially doing like an interview type thing, they made them like describe what the cut is. Of it's top 65 in ties after the first 2 rounds, Friday and Saturday. And that got to be a little bit old and repetitive as a
golfer.
But I understand how, if you're trying to appeal to people that don't know that sort of stuff, that you kind of need to explain. But them like diving into like a par is this, a birdie is this.
Yeah.
It was comical at points, but I get it.
Dude, it was insane. Like going from a journalism major, they gathered over 7,000 hours of film
That's
just for
that's
8
wild.
45-minute episodes.
That is wild.
And I complain about doing like 2-minute packages for class.
Amen to that, man.
That's insane.
Oh, jeez. Yeah,
I
that
agree
was-
though. The Brooks, they made me just not like him even more.
The
Oh
thing
my
that I couldn't
Like
stand
you
about
can be a douchebag and win and whatever. There's some tolerance there. But if you're not winning and you're a douchebag still,
See,
Yeah.
he had a rise where he was like good for
he's the best player in the world
a couple years,
Yeah.
like maybe,
and just showing and going.
and then rock bottom. Like
Nothing.
you haven't heard from him since then. Like he went to live, and I was like kind of bummed because I liked watching Brooks when as a golfer, and then after that I'm like, I literally couldn't care less because
Yeah.
it's just he brought nothing. He didn't really, I mean, he wasn't making anyone sweat on the PGA Tour. I'll put it like that.
One of the things that dude hurt me was watching the Thigala and what was the other guys? The
rookie.
Oh, the one from Pepperdine, right? Yeah, the rookie from Pepperdine.
Yeah,
I'm blanking on his name.
He's like,
man, how can we not remember his name?
Munoz or no?
No, there's Munoz, but it's not him.
I haven't seen this episode yet, so I can't help you.
I always
He's
saw
the guy
once.
he's the guy that went into the creek on 18.
Yeah,
at
he
the
lost. He didn't. He double bogeyed
It was
the
his
last hole
first
PGA.
ever major.
Oh, he's not the Pepperdine guy. I know who you're talking about.
It was his first ever major, and
Yeah.
all he had to do was bring out the 5-wood instead of the driver. And as soon as he, like, you'll see it on the episode, but as soon as he hits the tee shot, he looks at his caddy and goes,
We
"I
lost
effed it up on the last hole."
It's like Pinheiro.
Oh, it's right there.
Yeah. You know that guy.
Wow, that's gonna bug the crap out of me. It'll come to me, but
Yeah,
How'd
finally.
everyone feel about Phil leaving?
I don't care.
I
I
hate-
never liked Phil.
really,
Wow.
I never liked him.
Well,
Do you know
so
why
the
I didn't
debate-
like him? This is why I didn't like him. Because I grew up, like my forming ages of golf was like this whole Tiger and Phil thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Phil was this like, I don't need to work out, I'm just fat, and like I do my own
Don't
thing.
be-
And like Tiger was this, I'm gonna work out, I'm gonna like push myself. And I never liked Phil, just he was like lazy. It's like it came off as like I don't
Well,
want to do this thing.
That's the beef between Tiger and Phil. Is
Yeah.
like Tiger, like I can't remember who it was in an interview with Phil or with somebody, but Tiger never, like got along with Phil because he always made it understood that Phil was naturally better than Tiger, but Phil was not willing to put in the work that it was needed because he could have been so good.
Yeah,
and he just
so
wasn't,
good.
and he just wasted that.
So
It was. I mean, that's the definition of, I think, raw talent. And
Oh,
that's,
yeah.
that's John Daly.
Oh,
like
man.
all the talent in the world, and if he took things maybe more seriously and had more discipline on and or off the golf course, like I think he could have been someone to rival Tiger and had a lot more majors. I mean, he got 2. But John Daly, I think, is the, if you were to look up the definition of raw talent in the dictionary, John Daly's picture's there.
Yeah, and I'll say this, and then we can go to the fist bump feature. But I saw this thing about John Daly, about how he had like smoked a carton of cigarettes, like on a recent round that he played, smoked like a carton of cigs, had like 6 Diet Cokes,
Barefoot.
yeah, and they're like 0 ounces of water, and like I'm like, this dude is going to die within the next 5 years. If you look at him, it's just like, and it's
and
a
he
shame.
doesn't. He keeps on ticking.
Well, there's another story about Tiger and John Daly, and John Daly was like every day after the round, I'd go in and just sit at the bar in the clubhouse and just hang out there with some of the guys. And he's like, Tiger would walk back and forth from the course to the gym, from the course to the rehab spot, and he'd be like, Tiger, come have a drink with us, and Tiger'd be like, nah, I'm good, and we'd just go back and forth, and like John Daly the entire time is just sitting there at the bar, just having drinks. It's wild.
But I mean, I give and it comes back to the full swing stuff where there's different mentalities and mindsets to the guys out there, and whatever you think makes you better at the end of the day. Like Joel Damon is the most self-deprecating guy out there, and he just shits on himself the whole
Isn't
time.
that
but
wait
you
till
know
y'all
what?
see that episode.
I saw
That's
it.
a great one.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like
It's
if that
it's
guy
funny
had
seeing the
wild.
mindsets of the
a
different
great
guys
life
out
story
there.
though, like he's
Yeah.
like, dude, he's been through a lot.
His mom dying of cancer, him having cancer. Yeah, I mean,
I mean, basically, what I got out of that is if I ever try to qualify for a U.S. Open, I just need to drink a White Claw.
There it is.
That's right.
I mean,
Maybe 3 or 4.
because
And
that's what
shoot
he
6,
did,
5
and then he
under.
qualified.
So it wasn't a White Claw, but when I played and passed my PAT, the player ability test, to become a assistant pro, to get into the PGA of America, you have to take your PAT and pass it. At this course, I had to shoot, depends on the course and how difficult it is, but I had to shoot essentially 78 to get through, or 76 to get through. And so I knew I had my work cut out for me. I shot 78 the first round, which means, and it's 36 holes in one day.
So does it carry? So if you shoot 74, you get to shoot 78.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I shot, if 76 gets me through is your total number, whatever that equals. I'm not great at math. So I shot 78 first round, have a quick bite to eat, and then you go back out and play 18 more holes. Shot 78. So I knew I had to shoot 74 better that second round. And I had like a chicken salad sandwich and a Gatorade, hit a few putts on the practice green, went back out there, and I shot 69 with a double bogey coming down the stretch. And had the low round of the day. But it's like, it's funny how you have a White Claw. You just have a little fuel and you give
Snickers
yourself a little
bar.
pep talk, and
You're not you
it
when
hits
you're
the
hungry.
right spot.
Yeah.
And
A little
I mean,
fuel.
Shout out for
You're the first person to ever call White Claw fuel, but
Yeah.
hey, whatever works, man. Well,
Gotta
you
love
and Joel
it.
Damon.
For us, our White Claw is Apotheos. A little coffee will get you rolling,
shout out
boys.
Apotheos.
Yeah, no
All right, fist pump Peacher.
Yeah.
Starting with this guy, because something pretty big happened for this now father.
Yeah. As we've carry on with a large amount of golf talk, Arnold Palmer was my role model. I got to spend a little bit of time around him growing up in South Florida, and just the ultimate gentleman on and off the course, and someone I always looked up to my entire life, and that was my way of essentially honoring him and his legacy. Was I wasn't going to name my son Arnie or Arnold or anything like that, but Palmer. So my wife and I had our first son, Arnold, or Palmer. Jeez, I almost called him Arnold there.
Arnold Palmer Jr.
Yeah, Palmer James Jacobs came into the world back on the 11th of February
That
at
flow's so
10:30 at
nice.
night. So we're stoked for that. And he was a few days early, so it was a nice little pleasant surprise, and it was exciting. I'm a dad now. I have great parents. I have a great dad myself, and I've always known that I wanted kids. I'm one of one, so I needed to kind of have a boy at some point to keep the Jacobs name going. So the fact that I got a boy first and foremost.
Asking you shall receive.
Exactly. So I can have another boy. I can have another girl. We'll probably have a couple kids, God willing. But I got the first little guy, and my life's changed, and I'm truly blessed.
I went over there on Friday, and I mean, especially with your Instagram story, it's just little man on the couch sleeping, dog right below him, and you got golf on the background of the TV. I was like, dude,
That's
that is
it.
the dream.
That's it.
That is gold.
Fall asleep on the couch with the baby with the golf on. I mean, dad life is in full swing.
And you made some money giving me the putter.
Yeah, sold Ryland a putter that a lot of people have been roasting him for being way too short.
I just said there was a sale at Toys R Us. That's all I was saying.
But a nice little Scotty camera in addition to the bag, and
Need it.
shave a few strokes off the short game.
Need it. I hope so.
Fist pump Peacher for Bobby this last
Yeah.
week.
So what's today? Thursday, right?
Mr. Birthday Man.
Tuesday. I was about to say Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Turned 23.
God, you're old.
That's what everyone keeps telling me. I'm like, really? 23 is old?
Yeah,
Like,
you're so old.
yeah.
I'm the
You're
youngest
old
one in
as
the
shit.
room. Damn.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So yeah, turned 23. So that's pretty cool. Blessed to see 23. Just, I mean, living life at 23. Not a whole lot going on. Just doing this.
Can you rent a car now? Is that what that is? 23?
I think it's
car?
25.
25, yeah.
It's your last milestone in life.
23, you
man.
don't really get to do much. It is my Jordan year, so I got to buy another pair of Jordans. I already have a couple.
Nice.
So that'll be, with some of the birthday money, probably saving up for another pair of those. Matt, I know you're into sneakers as well.
You got to buy an expensive pair because it's your 23.
Yeah.
A loophole on
See-
the rental car thing. I remember Akshay Bhatia, the professional golfer, who just turned 21 relatively recently. He was trying to get to a golf tournament, and he couldn't get a rental car because of his
Yeah.
age. But a loophole, I think he was able to get like a U-Haul. He could like rent a U-Haul. So he got like a U-Haul van with like tons of bathrooms for his
insane.
clubs. Like he was able to find a little loophole there.
Like
and
you could rent a vehicle that's 3 times as big
practically,
as like
you
an
need a
Accord.
CDL, but
Yeah. That's
You
insane.
could probably fit your rental car in the back of the U-Haul that you're driving.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
yeah.
That's wild.
Anyone
dude.
ever driven a U-Haul?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
I had the opportunity. Well, my sister moved back from Charlotte recently, back to Atlanta. And she's still moving some of her stuff out of her apartment. She's like, "Do you want to drive the U-Haul?" And I'm like, what did mom and dad say?" And they're like, "We don't." They said that they don't trust themselves to drive it. And I was like, "Then I don't trust myself to drive it either." Like, if my dad won't drive it, like, yeah,
Who ended up driving?
nobody should. They're just gonna take multiple trips back with my mom's big Ford
Man.
Explorer.
Nobody.
I was ready to make the joke
What
that
a
that's why you're
solution.
old now, because you're 23 and you've like that's the benchmark of being old is when you've driven a U-Haul. Like, you've driven a U-Haul, I've driven a U-Haul. I
Yeah.
would say you have driven.
I got
Well, dude, speaking of, I have not. Speaking of moving though, like we were trying to figure out our lease, and we're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to drive a U-Haul, but going out to Mississippi, we were trying to figure out our
The
lease
soup.
for shit, baby. Trying to figure out. I don't know if I told this on here before, but we're trying to figure out the lease, and so we found a place we really liked, and I called and I was like, hey, you know, can we get a 1-bedroom for 2 people? And they were like, yeah, we don't allow 2 people to rent 1 bedroom. And I was like, and she was like, "There's only for certain exceptions." And I was like, well, we're gonna be married, so it's got to be the exception, right? And she's like, yeah, sorry, no. So I was
What?
like, are
You
you
didn't drop a little
kidding
name
me?
flex and be like, "Yeah, have you heard of us?"
Well, I
Kind
hit
of a big deal.
easy. I did go through some connections. I won't say who, and we ended up getting it worked out. But I was like, other than a married couple, what kind of exception are you thinking about? Like, goodness gracious. So we got it worked
Like,
out.
really, though, what would be the other
Yeah,
except?
I don't know.
I mean, I have no idea what that list would entail.
Yeah, me neither. But we got it figured out. So I'll probably be driving a
Some
U-Haul out
liberal
there.
bullshit. You got to be married to a hot dog.
What?
It could be just like a
these
kid.
this
Would probably be the
part
most
that will
likely
cut.
two
Yeah,
people.
Okay, I didn't even.
Yeah.
My mind didn't even go there.
That would probably be the first one, but before the hot dog.
All right, fist pump feature for you too. Who wants to go first?
I'll go last. You go. I need to think.
I went to Cancun.
Yeah, I mean that was
Yeah.
easy.
It was incredible.
Mas
Got the
tequila.
bronze.
Moss.
Mas
I mean, it's
mas.
all
He comes
inclusive.
back
So
tall, dark, and handsome. So
I mean, hey, do what you can, right?
I mean, I was just living through the
So,
stories.
oh, it was incredible. So the seagulls in Cancun are savages.
Speaking
Really?
of hot dogs,
Speaking of hot dogs, so my 5-year-old, I don't know why he
this
decided.
going?
I don't know why he decided to start trying hot dogs in Mexico and not America, but he did, right? And he eats nothing. Like, he's the pickiest eater ever. So he loved hot dogs. He found out he loves hot dogs, right? So their hot dogs are massive, and we ripped it in half. So he's eating his hot dog. He turns around to talk to us. This seagull comes out of nowhere, and it swoops down, grabs the other half of the hot dog in its mouth, like not its claws or anything, and grabs the hot dog and flies over the pool, like this massive pool with all these people in it, and drops it in the pool. And then 30 seagulls just like come to the pool, and everyone's screaming, like they're all running out of the pool because the seagulls are attacking them. It was the craziest thing ever. My kid's like, just screaming.
I don't like
Great
hot dogs
entertainment.
anymore.
I was going to say ruin hot dogs for
I
him.
mean,
versus
we're sitting
Tyrone.
there like, I don't even know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I was
like
not
that-
expecting this.
That one seagull was like, all right, I'll take it for the team, boys. Like, went in, just got it, and everybody was just like, all right, let's feast.
I mean, we were like all sitting there, and he just swoops right in. Like, he's done this before because they know it's an all-inclusive. There's just food laying around everywhere. You don't have to buy it.
It's like Finding
so-
Nemo. It's like the seagulls in Finding Nemo just
Exactly
going
like
nuts.
my first thought was what Caddyshack with the
Yes.
baby Ruth lands in the
Yeah.
pool and it looks
No.
like something else.
Everybody's like, what?
It was
I had-
crazy.
I had an experience like that when I was a kid. I was eating like turkey and cheese. Like, you just take turkey and cheese on the beach and like roll it up, make a little roll up.
Yeah.
And just a seagull came out and just snatched it out of my hand, and like it like with its beak too, same
Yeah.
thing. And it like cut my finger. I was like bleeding. It
They
was
don't
like
care.
I was crying. I was like 5 years old or something like that because, man, it was a bad experience.
They
yeah.
don't care.
They don't care, man. They got to
They
eat.
don't play around.
I want you to eat.
So, I completely forgot your fist pump feature was just Cancun. I thought,
Yeah, no, fist
lost
bump was
like
not
that
was not
your
the
fist
seagull
bump.
eating the hot dog.
Yeah.
Fist bump was just like, leaving the country and my phone not working.
Fair enough.
Sorry, boys.
All right.
I got to answer a text real quick, or else I'll get in trouble.
You can always trim the fat here off of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I my fist pump feature of the week. Really feature of 2 weeks, right? Because we haven't filmed in 2 weeks. I'm gonna go with getting the spring break plan solidified.
Yep.
I'm following in your footsteps and going to the beach. I'm gonna have an absolute blast. A week from today, heading down to Santa Rosa, and it's so we did a yearly trip for like 3 years with my mom and then like 10 of our friends, and my mom would just cook for us all week. And we always, on the last night, we went to this bar called Stinky's, and we started it, I don't know, 2 years ago.
Great bar name.
Stinkies. It's awesome. So they have a bar, like a restaurant bar area, and then they have like a nighttime kind of hangout spot with live music and a bar, and then they have a bait and tackle shop. Sorry,
What a combo.
So,
dude. It's
Florida.
everything
I
you
love
want.
that.
And the house
That's
we
half
got.
the establishments in the Keys, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's just everything you need. They probably got some guns in there too or something. Just go and buy it. But
One-stop shop.
yeah, I mean, everything. So our house is like right behind it. And so we're just, every night, there's live music. We're just going to go
Convenient.
hang out. It's going to be a blast.
I
So,
love it.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
That's
Probably play a little
the best.
golf with the new Scotty. So,
Yes.
yeah.
That'll be sick.
I love that.
Well, speaking of, obviously we got into a little bit of Netflix chatter with the full swing, but Outer Banks released today. Ryland, you said you saw the first episode. I haven't seen it yet. Looking forward to it though. I think I'm gonna watch it probably tonight.
See, dude, I think I came into it with too high expectations. Like, yeah, it's a good
What
show.
season is this?
3.
Right.
Yeah, it's a good show, but like, it came out during. We talked about this earlier. It came out during COVID. Everybody was dying for something,
Yeah.
and so everybody just fell into this. And I think they're just trying too hard. The first 20 minutes of the episode was just unbelievably cheesy, and so like, normally I get locked on a show, and like if we were started filming at 6, I would have finished like the show maybe like 5:55 and just raced here. But like by 5:30, I was like, all right, let's go. Like I wasn't even
So is that the show that you associate like COVID with?
that, and then the Tiger. What was the?
That's what I was gonna say. Well, I associate COVID with like a TV show. It was Tiger King.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh, I didn't watch
Carol
Tiger
Baskin.
King.
Carol Baskin. Tiger
Jeez.
King.
Killed
No.
her husband, whacked him. Yeah, I would have saw.
What about
Long
Squid
ago.
Game? Was Squid Game? Where
Nah,
was
that was
that?
more recent. That was
See, I
like
didn't
this
watch that,
last
though.
year.
I didn't watch Squid Game either. I didn't watch Tiger King. All my friends like to tell me, "Oh, you like to be different because you don't like to watch like whatever the popular stuff is." And I'm like, maybe I am. I don't know. I don't
Just
like.
go
wa-
against the grain, man.
Yeah,
You know?
I didn't watch Tiger King, and because everybody else was watching it. I don't know.
See,
We
what was
watched
that?
it
What was
all
that
in one
one?
day.
What was that one thing? Sorry to kind of pivot here. What was the one thing that y'all like got hooked on during COVID? Like that you just found out you love doing? Like
Drive to Survive, 100%.
So that was
I'm like
yours.
I'm obsessed with Formula One.
you've
now.
talked about it like 5
Like-
times now tonight. I love it.
The first race is next weekend. I'm super pumped about it. I just bought F1, like the package where I can do this is sick. Okay, for like
He's
70,
all in, dude.
For like $70 a year, it's a great deal. You can watch every driver, like the camera angle from their cockpit. You could switch whenever you want,
Really?
and listen to
That's
the
right.
radio with their team, like unedited, whenever you want.
That's a bold
While
move.
you're
For
watching it on
70, that's
TV.
pretty- yeah.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's a great
right?
idea.
I mean, it's a phenomenal sport because there's so much money in it,
Really?
and they've managed to find the most egotistical human beings on the planet and put them into one sport. It's great.
I think I know one F1 driver, and is it Hamilton?
Lewis Hamilton.
Lewis Hamilton.
I don't know a single
for
one.
Mercedes. I
all I
just
know.
started getting into drive, so I'm in like season 2 or 3. Carlos Ortiz and
I love it. Max Verstappen's my guy.
Oh, I know.
Verstappen.
like
Verstappen.
because I started liking him from the
He's
show,
with Red
and then he
Bull,
won
or was.
the World Championships. I'm like, "Pff, now I'm hooked.
This guy.
I mean, I
this
went
guy.
to the Miami race last year. It was incredible.
Really?
Did you really?
was that the Hard Rock?
Jeez.
That's right. That's
The
right.
only F1 guy that I know that like was a super fan was 2 years ago. Was Trey McKitty, who plays for the Chargers now, but
Trey McKitty was a Formula One fan.
he,
Really?
like, dude digs it. Like has a whole setup in his house for racing games. Like insane. Like goes to races out there all. Oh, he loves it.
That's sweet.
That is pretty cool. I would like to go to one of those over there.
Loves
The
it.
I
only
just
other
feel like
thing
you
that
wouldn't
we
see
did-
anything. It would just zoom by you. You're like, oh, okay, cool. That's the next.
Yeah. Here you
What,
go.
Formula One?
Yeah.
When you're
like,
there?
oh, that's the last car till the next lap. Okay.
No,
Now wait.
so what's cool about it is they have these giant screens that are in front of you, so you can kind of see where everything is on the track, and they're so spaced out that you're constantly seeing stuff.
Okay.
It's not like NASCAR where they're all bunched together,
Yeah.
and it's just like, vroom, and then they're all gone. I mean, there's like always action. It's pretty cool. Like the first thing that I noticed from being there that you don't get on TV is when they come down like a backstretch, it sounds like a fighter jet. It's like, because they're going so
sick.
fast and they have to stop so fast. It's like, it's for the first time I heard it, I was like, what the hell is that? And like, that's the car. I'm like, oh my
And
God.
when you're like
Dude.
in front of it, you don't hear it until like you're behind
It's like,
it because they're going so fast. It's embarrassing
It's
to sound.
I went to. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
It's not Formula One, but I did go to Talladega. Wow, 4 years ago now. Golly, I'm getting old.
Did you do the RV and everything?
Yeah, talk about-
Like, did you
No, well, so here, talk about a weekend. It was unbelievable. It was me, Charlie Warner, one of our guy friends that owns a farm out here, and then was it Eli Wolf? I think maybe I can't remember who the fourth was, but it was a Friday night here, and Friday or Saturday, and they had Twilight, And so twilight was going on. We were out here probably till like 2 a.m. just watching the race. And then we were like, we talked about Talladega. We were like, eh. And it was the next day. Yes, it was Saturday night and Talladega was on Sunday. And it was like Saturday at like 2:30 a.m. We were like, we're doing it. So we went to Charlie's house right down here. Slept for like 3 hours. Got up, dude, hauled out to Talladega. Got there by like 8 a.m. their time. Just too cool. It was full of beer. And like everybody out there was just like family. Like you get out there and everybody's like, hey man, good to see you. Like, I don't know you, but good to see you too.
I feel like
That's
outside of like
awesome.
the diehard fans, like that's half the people in attendance at Talladega. It's just like, Talladega's tomorrow. Like, let's do it.
Dude.
Just like, I feel like I've
When
heard so many of those stories where
We
people
pulled up at 8 a.m. We're like, oh, we're here early. For miles, there were just cars parked on grass, just tailgating. It was unbelievable. And you can bring your own drinks into the
That's awesome.
into the stadium.
That's cool.
And so we got to sit like right on the left side of the stands, whatever. And you look to your right, and I mean, it's like a mile and a half of just stands and people, like 50 rows up. It was electric. I fell asleep for half the race. It was a long day.
gotta pace yourself.
Yeah, but
So talking about like last minute decisions. So, you know, I didn't go to school here. I went to West Virginia and we're in a fraternity, and like, I'll never forget this night. Like we're all sitting around, and my buddy who he's a pothead. I mean, no other way to say it. Right. And he's just like, man, have you guys ever wanted to like go see Phil? And I'm like, Phil who? He goes, Punxsutawney Phil. And I'm like,
No way.
I've had no desire to go see a groundhog.
oh wow,
The groundhog. Yeah. Right?
wow.
Groundhog Day.
It's like 2.5 hours from where we went to school. Right?
Oh man.
And I'm like, no. So next morning, wake up, go down to breakfast, and we're like, where the hell's it on? Like, where is he, man?
No way.
He left.
No
He
way.
was there with the groundhog when the sun came up and by himself. And like, he just came back and goes, man, that was awful. He's like, that was not what I
I
expected.
thought he was gonna come back and be like, yo.
He's like
electric.
that place, there's nothing there, man. We're like, we could have told you that.
5
Like,
hours back and forth.
Like, what are you doing?
Punxsutawney Phil. Wow, that's insane.
Like, at least your last minute decision was cool. His
Yeah.
was an awful trip. I'm like, this
Golly.
is
Okay,
dude.
so question, because I had friends ask me this a couple weeks ago. Do you think that there are more groundhogs or more beavers in the United States?
Oh, that is way above my pay grade. My brain can't even. I don't know. Beavers.
Weren't beavers
Beavers.
like endangered at some point? No. Do you know the answer to this?
I do know the answer.
Oh, you do.
I know the answer.
how the hell do you know that? How the hell does anyone know the answer?
Well, okay. So here's the
Because
thing.
it
I've
was-
seen a groundhog, or I've seen a beaver. I've never seen a groundhog. So I'm gonna go beaver.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna go beaver too.
I'm gonna go groundhog just because I have a feeling.
It is groundhogs.
Really?
It is like 10
have, like, a
times the
cl-
amount of groundhogs that there are beavers.
What do they
how-
just have like a club going down like underneath the ground? Like,
How do we know this? Like, how does anybody know this?
I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll look it up, but I'm telling you.
I mean, I think that's bullshit.
We need like a permanent fact checker behind the camera.
So you know how they always say the world is whatever percent water, and it's like,
Yeah, 70.
so based on that rationale, there's more like rivers and creeks and streams and all that stuff. So that's why I would say beavers to build
I
beaver
think
dams.
a large percentage of that water is gonna be salt water.
Well,
which
I get
beavers are
that.
not.
I get that. But I mean, you look around. I mean, there's streams and creeks everywhere.
I mean, here's another. I mean,
I've never seen a groundhog.
Me neither. And here's another one of those
more northern.
questions. It's like,
Well, you're from the north.
I've never seen a groundhog there either. I haven't even seen Punxsutawney Phil.
You missed out. You were gonna say.
Had the trip of a lifetime. You didn't go.
I didn't. I missed out on that.
yeah, what happened to him seeing a shadow and being like, what was it, 6 more weeks of winter or whatever, and it's 79 degrees today?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
That's just. I mean,
That's why his name is Punxsutawney and not
yeah.
Confucius.
I mean, what in the world? I mean, that,
Well,
that
yeah,
begs the
but-
question too. Like,
But in Pennsylvania, it's snowing, so I guess for him it is still
It was
winter.
snowing in Vegas like the other day. I saw it.
There's a blizzard warning in LA today.
how?
What?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that last night.
I feel like we're-
Blizzard warning.
I mean, I'm wearing flops, and
Shorts weather.
granted, this is all I got left in my closet for right now. Our dryer's broken, and of course, I
tough
didn't
scene.
figure it out until I already had half my stuff in the wash, so it's just sitting there.
That's awful.
It's just.
gonna
I have to
miserable.
rewash it.
Yeah, probably twice.
Yeah, it's awful.
I put in a request on Tuesday, and the guy came Wednesday. He's like, "All right, I fixed it." I started it again. I was like, "No, you didn't." He was like, "All right, I'll be back out like Friday afternoon." I was like, "Friday? Are you kidding me?" So yeah, I'm just. I
You
want
should take it outside, like, put it on a line, like grandmas used to do, and
I mean, I could
get
do
the
that.
breeze.
Little
Get the breeze
clothesline.
to air it out a little bit.
It's not a bad idea.
I'm not sure where you're gonna get a clothesline, but you figure it out.
Okay,
Little
my
flashback
fact
to it.
checking has failed about the groundhog statistics.
So there are more beavers.
So I don't know. Like I looked it up
Fake
and it just
news.
said the difference
Man,
is that
he saw us on Twitter like a year ago.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, this is. I mean,
Dude,
listen-
I can't trust you anymore. Like,
I
this
was
is over.
getting fed information from my friend, so I'll
Dr. Bright would absolutely tear you alive right now for false
yeah
information.
I didn't fact
You
check.
get a
Excuse
zero.
me. Yeah, that one's on me. Jeez, what a class. Anyways, that's besides.
What were we talking about
What's
before
the
that?
next?
I don't know.
We started on Outer Banks.
How about Aaron Rodgers? Let's just skip to that.
Yeah.
Coming out of, like talking about groundhog.
So
like,
I don't know.
dude.
I have not been a part
about
of
weird
any of
things.
this.
Groundhogs and Aaron Rodgers
Coming
in a
out-
cave.
coming out of
Ground.
Staying in a
yeah,
cave.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're
so
gonna
fill
we'll put
me
that.
in.
We'll put this cave up on the screen so we can see. I still
So I
haven't seen
saw
it
it
yet.
today. I saw it, a picture of this place that he went. It's in Oregon. And I guess you can rent these, they call them cabins, but they're like built into a hillside. It looks like a cave. Okay, it looks like, you know what it looks like? Is like Lord of the Rings where
I
the
was about to
hobbits
say,
lived.
yeah.
Kind of like that with no windows. Okay, so you go in
Is that
this
sanitary?
place, and it is, yeah, it looked nice inside actually. So there's no light, there's no sound, there's somehow Wi-Fi, but there's there's no light and no sound and no cell service. Okay, and
This looking little place.
no, that is definitely not it.
Let me look it up.
No, yeah, you can look it up.
Aaron Rodgers,
But-
dark.
Nope,
Darkness
that's not the one. So
He's a character, man.
yes, that's it. That's the entrance. But you go like into the ground.
Interesting.
And he was in there for how long? I mean, it was a while. It was like over a week.
Yeah, it had to be every week because he was on Pat McAfee like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, over a week. And I guess the Packers were getting pissed. Like they're kind of like,
Well,
hey,
they're
we need to know.
showing. These are like the inside pictures of it allegedly.
Yeah, that's it. That's the inside.
And it was saying he
That's
had what? I
inside.
mean, he had like a meditation mat,
yeah,
It looks kind of cool.
mattress.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I couldn't do it however long he was in there for.
I couldn't do
Probably-
it for more than like a day.
Yeah, I was about to say.
because the no sound thing I think would creep me out more than anything.
No,
Is he doing
like,
it? Is he doing it for
you go-
attention?
You go
I think he
psychotic
does
if you
everything
don't
for
have
attention.
sound.
Is he gay? Have we figured that out yet? I mean, do we know?
I didn't know that was a rumor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a big. I mean, for like 5 years ago, that was huge.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the whole rumor that
Didn't
his
he
family
date-
talked to him.
yeah.
Who did he date? Like Olivia Munn or something like
He
that?
dated
right?
Danica Patrick for a while.
He
Oh, yeah,
did.
that's
That's
true.
right.
Is
I
he
forgot
not
about
married?
her.
No. But apparently, that was a huge thing between his family and him, like why they wouldn't talk to him at all.
Yeah, he still doesn't talk to the brother who does all the commentating,
Interesting.
which is very strange.
Which he was on The Bachelorette and is now married to JoJo. Well, now JoJo Rodgers. But
I don't know.
But so I mean,
she's the reason I started watching that show.
so this guy has to go into a dark hole with no sound to decide whether he wants $60 million or not, like to continue playing for the Packers.
After making $200 million already.
Like, what does he think? Like, what is his? I don't know what his decision is down to. Is it like I don't want to get hit anymore, and like I don't want any more concussions, or is it just like I don't want to do this anymore?
Well, is it not-
Or I want to play for a different team.
I was about to say. I think it's that he wants to play for a different team. Like I think he's mulling over potentially going to the Raiders. Like, you know, reuniting with Devontae Adams. Like,
Devontae Adams, they were like, what's your selling point? He's like, I'm here.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, all right. That's pretty good.
That's a
I mean,
good one.
they did well in Green Bay together. Why? I mean, and now they've moved on from Derek Carr. So
Hey, here's. You want to go ahead? Or
I have one input on this whole thing because I don't know, obviously, a ton about Aaron Rodgers, a little bit about the NFL as a very mild fan. Like, I do like his stance on the whole COVID thing, but outside of that, like, that being said, I want to like the guy, but outside of that, I think that he is turned into a bit of an attention seeker.
drama queen, diva. Although, I mean, yeah, we don't know him, so we can't. I mean, I don't know if he's a good or bad guy. It's just interesting. Speaking of retiring and thinking about things, did you guys see that somebody went to the spot that Tom Brady did his retirement video at?
and they
Sand.
bottled the sand.
Jarred the sand, and it sold for over like $60,000. It's
ins-
sand.
That's insane. Who buys that?
But here's the thing: is
I mean, who
that's
buys
on that was on eBay, and like I've sold stuff on eBay before, and like you see these things go viral on eBay and stuff like that. Like people can bid on it and then not actually pay for it, so you don't know if it actually like sold for
Wait,
$60,000.
really? I thought if you bid and you're the highest bidder
Dude,
when it
that's
closes,
sketchy.
like you have to pay for it.
That's sketchy.
Is that not how it works?
auction rules.
You can just be like,
you can
no,
make,
I'm
if
just
you
joking.
make if you just make like an eBay account, like you just
Yeah.
make an eBay account, and I'm sure you could link some like I don't know.
That's pretty.
That's gotta be like illegal, right? Like that.
yeah.
Like I'm sure it probably takes a hit to your credit is probably what happens.
I would think so.
Like there's
Yeah,
probably
probably more than
some
Credit score's
punishment
not
for
doing
that.
good.
To stay on the NFL for a second, my dream is to do what Kliff Kingsbury did. Get fired and buy a one-way ticket to like Indonesia or wherever he went.
Thailand? Or
Now,
Thailand.
now he's
Thailand,
interviewing
yeah.
for the OC job with the Texans.
Why?
Wait, really?
Just stay in Thailand, man. Just
Well,
stay.
bro, I mean,
Well, what's in okay? I say what's in Thailand. Like I bet Thailand's dope. I've never been to Thailand. I
He
would
has
like
millions
to go
of
to Thailand.
dollars.
I have no desire.
be done.
Just chill for at least a year.
Okay, you want to pay me $15 million to not coach you anymore? Perfect.
Be a stunt double for Ryan Gosling, whoever he looks a lot
No
like.
kidding. That's my
That is
dream
true.
job is to be a fired coach.
I mean, did you see
You
his?
kidding me?
Oh
I mean, you
god.
saw his house whenever
Yeah.
on draft day. The what they call it geez,
War room
War room.
2.0.
Yeah, they call the
Yeah.
war room. And he's just sitting there with his feet up, just like
With the pool in the background, the fireplace
Yeah.
going, the mountains.
Yeah,
Like, I mean,
and these like
yeah.
designer shoes and designer pants and all that stuff.
and he's
on.
got like one monitor there, one monitor there, and he's just like sitting here. Like, does he even do anything?
Next on the topics, Mr. Mississippi State himself is going to have a nice. You need to make friends with this Mississippi State pitcher coming up.
Ambidextrous.
Here. This ambidextrous.
I was about to say we need to
That is-
get you facing off against him in the box,
No.
batter's box. Yeah,
No.
yeah.
I think it has to happen.
I got listen. I got a call from the Indiana coach when I was in the portal. He was like, "Hey, you want to come here and play play both sports?" And I was like, "Listen, buddy, that ship has sailed."
Yeah.
I look at 3 pitches and be like, "See ya."
What's the? We talked a little bit about today. What are the MLB or just baseball rules? In can he like start an inning pitching
Yeah.
right-handed and then in between batters
So
switch to left-handed?
he
or-
can do it however he wants, except for once the at bat starts, he cannot switch. So once he throws the first pitch righty for that at bat, he has to stay righty.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, you think about it, if he was going to go righty and then lefty and then
I mean,
switch
that'd
it
be-
Well, they had
Incredible.
exactly. So they
So
had.
wild.
There was a scenario where there was an ambidextrous pitcher where he would just there was a switch hitter. So they would just switch the glove and they went on this like just face off where they would just he would
Yeah.
switch his glove to the other hand and say that he was going to throw righty, and then the batter would say that he would was going to swing lefty, and then just went around and around and around, and they eventually were just like, we got to make a rule for this now because
Mexican standoff.
yeah.
I would just take my glove off and put both hands behind my back and just like lean down and be like, all right, man,
Yeah.
just come for me.
Guess which one?
Yeah.
Yeah, but apparently
funny.
he got his first start, or he's getting his first start tomorrow night.
Nice.
He threw in his first outing last weekend. He threw 4 innings with like 7 strikeouts, no hits.
So
Yeah,
he
it's-
throws 95
from the right.
right, 91
I think
left.
it's
91 left.
97 and 92 is what it was clocked last time.
That's
His name is Jurrangelo Cijntje, something along the lines of, I'm sorry if I butchered your last name if you're listening.
Where's he from? Where'd he come from?
I don't know.
High
know either.
school.
What a stud, though.
No. I mean, I didn't know if I'm not like severely
It's
invested in
incredible.
college baseball, so I don't know like where he came from exactly. But
I'm excited
I love
for
college
dad
baseball.
life, taking my son to the baseball park,
I love it.
Until
cracking
you
a couple
play.
beers, and watching some baseball this spring.
Dude,
Take him
that's
to
gonna be-
Foley.
we need to get
That's-
we need to get the Braves game with Truist. That'd be gold. We were talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
that Hawks game. That'd be awesome.
Just go hang
Yeah,
out
Truist
with
has a box
Swings.
to
to the Truist Park.
I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Be a
that
bad
is
deal if they didn't.
Well, we were having tailgates at all the Georgia games too. You gotta come.
Where?
What's up at the greenhouse?
Greenhouse? Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll do an episode up there.
Hey, you don't let us advertise inside the stadium? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Big old
Okay.
CCC
We'll just put a flag up there and you can see it
hanging
from
out
inside the
over
stadium.
right field.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Every year they try to do something to dismantle that,
I know.
whether it's plant new trees or something, and every year it just gets bigger and bigger.
Nature
It's-
finds a way.
dude.
Nature versus nurture.
It finds a way. That's a blast going up there and watching games and having
I
a
haven't
few
been
drinks.
yet. I'm
Oh,
stoked. I've heard
man.
nothing but good things.
That'd be fun.
I'll never forget. We were up there my freshman year. It was like me, a couple of the young guys, and then Charlie and Jake and a couple of guys, and they had beers in their hands. And the camera found their way up to the right field and zoomed in on him. And Jake was just drinking beer, and I think it was Jake's mom texting him. Was like, "Put that beer down right now." And it was awesome. It's a blast though.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Shout out to the guys over there that are going to be hosting us this season. We are much appreciative
Yes.
to have
Shout
that
out to
sweet
the
little
greenhouse.
spot.
Shout out.
I tagged them in our newsletter that I sent out 2 days ago. I did a brief little snippet about where we're going to be doing the tailgates there, and tagged their their Instagram handle because they do some Instagram action. So
Yeah.
give them a follow at the greenhouse.
If any of y'all want to come hang out with some players, fun people, watch some baseball, and have a few drinks, go up to Classic City Tailgate up at.
I think we're still working on the schedule tentatively, but it looks like most of the home baseball games on like Saturdays, especially starting March 11th ish, is the date.
Yeah,
that
maybe
stuck
a few
out.
midweek games.
Yeah.
You know, here and there.
That's
throw
all
'em
Tuesday
Like an
night
hour or
action.
two before the
Yeah.
game, sit up there,
Tuesday
meet some
nighter.
football players, some basketball players, and then as the game starts, maybe we'll wander our way into the stadium and
Don't sleep on the Friday night games. Friday night, those are usually
Yeah.
the Friday
dudes.
Yeah, those are
Yeah,
the guys.
especially-
Those are the dudes. They pitch on Fridays. So.
Yeah, especially once we get into SEC play.
Oh
That'll
my
be-
gosh, I'm so
shout
excited
out
for SEC. play.
our one of our guests, Jaden
Woods.
Woods,
Yeah.
Projected
Club.
first round draft pick. Hopefully
Stud.
has a good year this year. Up to like 96 this so far. So
Shout out to my boy Bryce for coming up, stepping up the other week, and doing the Alumni Hall event.
Yep.
Bryce.
Coming in
Bryce, good
clutch.
guy.
Bryce is a great dude.
Yeah, really genuine guy.
Great kid. You want to hit some of the questions?
Yeah, we got a few questions that you had sent to us.
Fan questions,
Yeah.
right?
I can't even. My eyes are. I
Pull it
can't
up on
read
your
that.
phone.
What's the?
So there's a glare.
We'll just go right here.
It's more genuine that way. You can.
We did a little poll on Instagram. Let's see what we
Maybe
got.
we got some more questions since you added the poll.
What, your poll about whether you should cut your hair or not? That poll?
Yeah, let's check on the results of that.
Yeah.
Should I keep the?
Did
flow?
everybody vote here?
I did not.
I voted keep the flow.
Yep.
Keep the flow.
I told
the
him
flow.
because he asked us on our weekly meeting, and I was like, listen, like, because I was like, did Alexa tell you to? Did she tell you to cut it, or what's making you think about cutting it?
Well-
And he's like, just because I kind of feel like I want to. And I was like, listen, you do you, man.
I'm gonna have to anyways in about a month, just out of respect for
You
the
might as
lady
well
and
just
my
let it
mama.
grow then.
Yeah, but without a hat, it's not great. I can't. It just grows up and it just gets curly, so it doesn't look great. The results were 107 keep the flow votes versus 30 chop it. Let's see if on the chop it, the fiance voted for chopping it.
Of course. But like I said earlier,
That vote counts
keep
for
it now.
a lot more than
and
one.
then
It
cutting
does.
it. Cutting it
And
for her.
one of the guys DM'd me and was like, "Is chopping it ever an option?" And I was like, "I mean, you're right. It just can't be."
Touche.
All right, here we go. First question from Bill_Blevitz. Out of all the recruits you guys have hosted, who was your favorite and why? Great question. That I can share on here.
We're not allowed to be in the room when we're talking about recruits.
Oh yeah, it's a violation.
Players that
That's a
I
joke.
have hung out with prior to them being here or early on in their career. Let's say I'll go with shoot, man. Probably my roommate and best friend Brett Scyther, just because of I had just gotten
Dog.
here. Dog. Sure, dog. And he honestly hosted me more than I hosted him because I was brand new, and he was like, shoot, let's just go do some stuff. So we did some stuff together. One of my favorites though was Lad. I hosted Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
And he was a good time. He's a funny dude. So that was
He's a good kid, too.
yeah.
Who was your? I mean, you might not have one, but who was your favorite recruit that you hosted that didn't come here? Like, was there a guy that you hosted who was like, "Oh, this guy's awesome," but he ended up going somewhere else?
Yeah. Stetson took credit for hosting Caleb Williams, but it wasn't Stetson. It was me and some of my roommates that hung out with him, played Madden a lot that weekend. And Caleb was a really cool dude.
Was he?
Yeah, he's a great
That's awesome.
dude. Yeah,
That's cool to hear.
He's a really cool guy, and he gets a lot of hate for the stuff that he puts on his fingernails and stuff. And people say he's like a douchebag. He was a really cool kid.
Did you see the thing about him saying he would, if he could get drafted anywhere, he'd want to go play for the Dolphins in Miami?
Really,
Yeah, he came out and said that. I saw ESPN posted it like
What was
today. Or
the-
something.
he's
Say
a beast,
behind
man.
that?
He's a gamer.
What was his rationale for that? Did you say?
Because he gets to throw to like Tyreek Hill, Mike Gesicki, Jalen Waddle. He's like, I don't know, it seems fun. So,
Yeah,
And
that
Miami's
makes sense.
He's a stud.
and he said
great.
he said their defense isn't half bad. And I was like, I mean, yeah,
And it's Miami.
Yeah.
You're from,
Miami,
you're from
Detroit.
LA to Miami. It's not
Gotta
bad.
love it. All right, second question from Elko_dog. Can you talk about how Coach Smart is on the field versus off the field? Any good stories?
Oh, I
You
haven't
probably
met
get
him
better
yet.
stories than I do.
No, good. Questions for you.
Yeah. I would say it's honestly changed a lot in the last 3 years. Like I think a credit to our success the last 2 years is how much more personable and relational he's become off the field. And I think having Muschamp and Bobo was a huge part for him to help him kind of relax and trust those guys that they were going to handle certain things with certain guys. And so, I mean, yeah, he still gets fired up, but he's a coach. That's what he's supposed to do. So I would say his biggest difference on and off the field is he's very good at learning how to flip the switch on and off. Like, you're on the field, you're off the field.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I would
Speaking
say
of-
he's grown a ton in that.
Speaking of Bobo, unless you had something to say on.
No, I mean, just to like on the field, especially in practice, like, you know, everybody's like, oh, he's so fiery on the microphone and all that stuff. But you always see him go over to the player and like have a one-on-one conversation. And it's always, there's like a purpose behind everything.
100%.
Because I've worked with a lot of coaches, and there's so many coaches who they just yell and that's it. And there's no teaching involved. It's like everything he does has a purpose behind it. And that's what makes him great. But I think like a lot of that's lost sometimes.
I agree.
Like, they just think he's yelling all the time. But that's not it.
And with him being a player, especially playing here,
Yeah.
he gets it so much more than other people. So, like you said, instead of just sitting there and yelling at someone, like, he'll sit there and yell at you because, it's what you need to do as a coach. But then he'll walk over there and then he'll show you what to do.
Yeah, you see,
He'll be involved
you see
in
his hands
drills.
moving and stuff, and you can see the player getting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the cool part about it.
That's definitely something, like, I honestly, out of as much as, as hard it is getting yelled at, he's probably honestly the guy I respect most, other than my dad, probably respect him the most out of anybody, just because of how much he cares and how good he is at his job.
Yeah.
And how relentless he is
Dude,
with everything.
never ending.
I mean, I've never met a guy with a motor like that.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's got a
he's
genuine
always on.
passion for it.
Whether it's 6 a.m., 10 p.m., I mean, he's on.
Whether it's the
all
day of the
time.
Natty or 2 days after when you're getting started again, like, dude, he is. That's why we won back to back.
And it makes everybody around him, you have to elevate to that level. I mean, you can't, like, everybody can't, but like, you want to, because you see that and you're like, I mean, I don't want to let him down,
Yeah, exactly.
type of thing. So it's incredible to see.
He
It really
creates
is.
that's a great point of letting him down. Like, he creates such a good feel on the team and a respectable amount of love and respect that, like, when you do mess up, you feel like you let him down and you don't want to do it again. And so, like, that's how much the guys care about him, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned also, Bobo is back at UGA.
Yeah, and there was some debate about people liking that pick or that hire or not. And I said it last night on a podcast with No Sean and TK. I was like, anybody that doubts his football knowledge and ability has no clue what they're talking about in football.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he is the amount of football that I learned from him in the 6 months that I spent with him, more than I've ever learned in my entire life.
Wow, really?
Like, dude, Bobo is the man.
Yeah.
The man. So
That's
I
good
think
to
it was, great hire. Yeah.
Sad to see Todd Monken go, but we're eager to have Bobo.
Yeah.
How do we think
That's it.
Monken will fare in the NFL?
Very good.
Yeah.
I think he'll do well.
I think him coming back to college, because he's definitely a pro guy, in my opinion. And now that he's kind of conquered back-to-back national championships here, like, I think he, taking some time off from the league and going back, I think he's going to kill it. He's very good at fitting an offense. He doesn't have a system. I mean, he does, but he fits the system around the players. And everybody says they do that, but, like, do they really? And so, like, I think it'll be really cool to
You
see.
can do that to certain degrees.
Yeah,
and
yeah, and he's going to be really. I mean,
Yeah, and I
It's gonna
think
be really cool.
the last couple of years here, he perfected that because he had
Perfected it.
all these different pieces that he had to work with, and he mastered it. So, like, taking that to the NFL, I mean, I think he's going to do awesome.
I agree.
really do.
I keep making jokes that if Lamar decides to leave Baltimore, Baltimore's going to draft Stetson. And Stetson will
Yeah.
sit under Monken again, and then
he's
you never know.
He's
That'd
by
be awesome.
far the greatest offensive, schematically mind and play calling that I've ever been around in my entire life. The way that he finds ways to create mismatches and miscommunication is just unbelievable.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. And, like, not just to Monken, but kind of the profession in general. I think you're going to see a lot more of that. Like, a lot more of coaches, if they're given the opportunity or they earn the opportunity to go to the league, they're going to go.
Agreed.
Because I don't know if fans truly appreciate the grind that these guys have. And it's exponentially more now with the portal and NIL. Like, honestly, if you don't like if you don't love recruiting, it's tough to stay in college for your
100%.
entire career.
Yeah.
If you're given the opportunity to go to the league, I mean, it just really is. You're going to see a lot of coaches make the jump. I think.
You're seeing that with Georgia guys, like the rumors of Coach Schumann going to the Eagles. John Lilly's going to the Panthers, I believe, as their tight ends coach. Where's Thomas Brown going as OC?
I don't know. I
He's
didn't
going
see
with
that one.
Thomas wherever he's going. I can't remember if it was Panthers or it might have been Panthers. But I totally agree. Like the league. I mean, you might not have it off, but it's going to be to a lesser degree from January or February till minicamp.
I mean, and then, donors have always been an aspect of, kind of the job. It's really just only been the head coach. But now every coach has to do donor functions, have to do these things because those are the people who are giving the money.
Mm-hmm.
And, you have to make a good impression. So that's another aspect of the job. So you have the football, which is all year round. Then you have the recruiting, which is all year round. And then in your free time, you go to functions and you meet with donors and you do all that.
I mean, those coaches see us more than they see their families.
Yeah.
They do.
Unbelievable.
It's insane.
They do.
It's not in the, I mean, yes, they get paid a lot, but the paycheck's not everything because, man, they grind.
They sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
Not to the league, but you mentioned Coach Luke. Maybe
I saw that today. Coach Luke might be going to Notre Dame.
Really?
O-line coach. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
that's gonna be a
I was about to
good.
say, he sat over here on this couch and
Yep.
was like, retirement is good. And now,
He's playing over at ACC every day. My
Yeah.
wife sees him all the time, and it's like it's got to be a heck of an offer to get him to go up to
Yeah.
Notre
talking
Dame.
about how he's sitting there watching, on 3 different TVs on his Saturday setup.
Yep.
Man, there must
it's-
be some,
That's what I'm
if
saying.
it's true.
I mean, it's addicting though. To be
Yeah.
in that grind
Yeah.
for that long too. You can sit
The
here and say
burnout's
how
gotta be
great it
unreal,
is.
though.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's
All right. Speaking of coaches, next question from John Ramos, 508. Who's the funniest coach on the staff? It's by far, what's the DB coach's name? I'm blanking. Fred.
ooh, now?
Yeah, the DB coach for us at Georgia. Oh my gosh, Fran Brown.
Fran is awesome.
The funniest dude. So
Fran.
every year we get new players, new coaches. They got to introduce themselves to the team, and then we do school sessions and we get to know each other better. And I mean, dude, every time that guy gets up in front of the team, I am crying laughing. He is gold.
If only we could have him on
gold.
the podcast. That'd be nice.
Dude, he'd be a heck of a guest. Interesting. Okay, hold on.
In a different way, I think Kirby's hilarious.
Different
Because
way, but
yeah, because when he goes on rants and stuff, I find them so funny. Yeah, well, I mean when they're not directed at you,
Of course.
obviously.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But they're just because he gets
Oh,
so
man,
into it.
you're just sitting there, and it's
It's
just
you just don't know what's gonna come. You don't know what words he's gonna connect together,
Oh, yeah.
and it's just I don't know. The anticipation
What's
is
it sound
hilarious to me. I will not do that, but it's good. I love it.
Next question from the Russell Clark. Who is you and Tate's best players on FIFA? Well, since Tate's not here right now, and he's slacking, and my team's not very good, we'll skip that question. Thanks, though, the Russell Clark. All right, last question. From Carver's Window Tinting. When are you going to have a Carver's Window Tinting sponsor?
oh,
Oh wow.
you get all of our
Well,
hit
cars
him up.
looking like that tinted right there.
Carver's Window Tinting. Let us know. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
DM us
Talking
on
to
the
two
Insta.
guys right here, Matt
Or
and
walk
Patrick,
into the office,
CCC.
yeah.
Let me reply to him.
Talk to him tomorrow. Let's do it. Let's get a deal. Get a little ad read.
So I say, Ryan, when you get your truck back, you need your
Speaking of, man.
windows tinted.
Yes, I do.
Your sister's been driving,
Man.
hasn't
Ford, I'm a Ford guy. I love Fords. Probably always will be. The back order on parts right now is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
she? You saw. I
Really?
was out of a car from October
Yeah.
to January.
Yeah, that was absurd.
Transmission.
That was pretty
Oof.
terrible.
What happened with your transmission?
It was the torque converter clutch, which is like a little piece.
Oh yeah.
So when you're driving at a fairly high speed, not like super fast or anything, it wouldn't shift into a higher gear if you got to step on it.
Yeah. Would you feel it grind? Would it grind?
I didn't really feel anything, but it was going off. It was having the wrench light come on, the check engine light come on. And then I got super like paranoid that like I'm hearing rattling, I'm feeling this. And it's like, I don't know if that stuff was actually going on or not. And I also needed new tires, which some of it was that 100%. So it was hard to tell what exactly was due to that. But it finally took forever to get that part diagnosed. Got it diagnosed. When I say it took forever, it took like 2 months to get it diagnosed. Finally got it in there. Like, it's going to be 2 weeks for us to look at it. Finally did that. And then it's like, yeah, this part, it's really back ordered. So we're going to have to just replace your whole transmission. Luckily, it was still under the warranty and everything, the powertrain warranty.
Oh, that's nice.
So it didn't cost me anything. But
we'll look up a YouTube video. We'll fix it. We'll fix it for you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, if you were paying for it, it wasn't under warranty, you'd probably have it fixed in like a week.
Yeah. You knew that? Yeah. Just pay us right now. You're good.
Yeah, and you got it. Oh, it's
on
warranty?
warranty?
Expedite.
Yeah.
No, it's on back order. Sorry.
yeah, funny how that works out.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. So Addie's driving the.
We were starting to say you're a Ford guy.
Yeah, finally the part will be in and it'll be done next Wednesday, but I haven't had the truck for about a month-ish. And it's eating me. I'm in a 2006 Camry and it's just, I'm doing squat reps getting in and out of that thing, man. It's crushing me. It's crushing. All the gas, it cost me $47 to fill the tank up. Half of my Ford.
I was about to say
$47.
$47.
Probably saving a whole lot on gas.
That's
Yeah, it's
more
$100 for me.
Yeah, it was a record. I filled it this morning, $47. I was like, man, that's nice.
Yeah.
Instead of
I
115.
mean, I'm sure the tank is like
Well, yeah,
half
I
the
go
size.
600 miles
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
I had a 99 Toyota Camry that I put my dad and I, mostly him, but we had just 350,000 miles on it. But back in the day when I was whipping that thing in high school, like I could fill it up for like $33.
Bro, Toyotas are so good, man. I grew up like Toyota. We all had Toyotas.
Yeah.
I had a 2003 or 2005, somewhere around there, 4Runner. And it's probably got 310 on it right now. And it's got a V8 engine, and that thing can go.
Yep.
4Runners are awesome. The whole like back window rolling down is one of the coolest things.
like-
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it's
I used to mow lawns.
Tacomas do that too, and
I used to mow
Yeah,
lawns
that's
for like a job in high school.
Yeah.
And I'd roll the window down, put the lawnmower in the back of the 4Runner, close the thing. It was like a truck. I was like, this is awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
Jeez.
they're good. They're built to last.
You know what you don't have tomorrow?
Team run at 6 a.m.
6 a.m. team run. You do not have.
I was walking through, I was talking to some of the guys the other day, and they're like, yeah, bro, we got to be up here at 5:30 in the morning. I was like, I don't, baby. I'm going to be sleeping. I was like, I'll think about y'all a little bit when I wake up here and then roll over, but nope.
Nah.
Talk to us real quick before we wrap up about Mississippi State. You, as I have come to learn that they were looking for a few guys in the transfer portal season to fill that tight end spot, and they unfortunately didn't get anyone other than you. So it sounds like you're going to be at Mississippi State and kind of be that guy filling that tight end role, and hopefully just like pull a Brock Bowers and just double out.
That'd be dope.
Oh, yeah.
Put up like 10 tutties. I don't know. So, once I committed and talked to them, they're like, yeah, to be honest with you, like, we're not really looking for anybody else. And that's what they tell you. But, like, and they didn't go for anybody else really unless, they pull something off before, I get there. But, we'll see. It'll be exciting. They moved some defensive guys over to tight end. They moved some receivers in. But it'll be cool. I'm excited for it. Got some working through the playbook right now, so it's fun learning that. We're going up to do that. So they call it Dog Day or something like that, where it's a Saturday and they have the spring football game, spring volleyball game, and then a baseball game that evening, and they do
That's
a concert on the field after the baseball game.
That's
cool.
sweet.
So, dude, I'm stoked. It's going to be a heck of a
Who's
heck of a
the
weekend.
concert? Like,
It was
who's
some
playing?
big country artist. I can't remember who it is, but it was somebody big. So I'm stoked about it. Yeah, we're going to go up for that and hang out there a little bit. So
That'll be really cool.